Hi. So this is kind of improvised. My routine is Monday after work, I watch John Oliver's Last Week Tonight. And so I just finished watching John Oliver. And, his episode this week was on school lunch. And he mentioned a whole bunch of stuff in there that just pissed me off. The fact that some school districts were stamping kids that their parents owed back money on school lunches. One freaking school that was talking about sending them to foster care and stuff because they weren't paying up for their school lunches. And you know what? Just in general, this episode moved me. I'm not trying to ride John Oliver's coattails. I won't put any of the hashtags or whatever it is on this thing. I'm just going to post it up. But I talk a lot about my plan. When I talk about my plan, let me just give you the bare bones of it, right? We're talking about the sources we use for energy right now are limited. They're getting more expensive. The projections for the future of our continent are that most of the green energy can be created in the center of our continent, right through the Midwest, right through my home. And I talk about how we should flip it on its head. It should be the common people generating the energy from wind, solar, geothermal, hydro, depending on location. It should be us that generate the energy and sell it, which means we have to flip the energy grid around. We need to build a new energy grid anyway. So if we have to build one, why not build one that actually works for the future as opposed to what we're doing now? So we build it with many points of generation and distribute it to the people that use it. And when I talk about the way this would be set up, I talk about, yes, there's a lot more rural feel to it, it's true, interspersed with what I would call castles, building a castle as opposed to a city. But one of the benefits to building this way would be we would restructure what jobs we need to train for, what jobs we need to create, what jobs we need to fill. If the vast majority is more rural, more generating of energy and food, if that is when I talk about my plan, I talk about, or I think about, when I dream about it, I think about how we should build a plan that makes it so that housing, food, and power they don't cost us anything. If they do anything for the common person, they generate income for the common person as opposed to a burden. What if in that system, because when I think about how I want to build this, I'll be honest, a lot of the things I think about to fix, I see on shows like John Oliver's show. If I was to think to myself, well, the prison system needs to be fixed. How could I fix it within the system I'm looking to build? Well, today, I was moved to make a video about school lunches. They talked about guidelines, how the breads need to meet a certain grain content, the food needs to meet certain priorities, and it should. And I think maybe the priorities are a bit weird or a bit low. If food is generated locally and we create the system that makes it so that none of us is going hungry, nobody is going hungry, then we could change the entire way we take care of our kids when they're in school. And he had a good point. We already subsidize things like the school buildings, the school desks, stuff like that, all get subsidized, and we think of it as taking care of our future, our children. Then why is it that if we're going to build a new world, if we're going to lay out a blueprint and the groundwork for a new world, how we interact with our world, then why not toss something like this on the pile for things to fix? Especially that stigma. That was really irritating, because I think the schools I went to when I was a kid, I didn't go to school for very long, but when I was a kid, I think the schools I went to would have taken that route, would have tried to pressure my parents into that kind of guilt trip to get them to pay the price. I don't think this is a new problem. I think it's been going on as long as I've been alive. So when I talk about my plan, I'm looking at it as, for me, it's still just a dream. Many, many parts to this dream and many problems I would like to solve with this dream. But it really comes down to a focus. If we know the world we're in does not work for the future, from our schools, the content of our education, or the food our kids get to eat, to our energy generation, to our ways of travel, which make no sense whatsoever, how we generate and distribute energy. If we're going to build a new world, why not tackle these problems at the same time? If it were me, as in a leadership position in any country in the world, and I'm not signing up for that kind of job. I'm a dreamer, anyways. If it were me, though, I would be looking for a way to make my country an example as to how to build the future for the rest of the world. And you know what? One of the things that really pissed me off about this is, again, I seem to have to say this a lot. The side I have joined, in this case it's Republicans, which Republicans are pretty much the voice of faith for political parties. Why is it my side that has to be the fucking pricks here? Why is it on every subject that matters to me, my side is just the enemy, the hindrance, the thing we have to get past? I don't think it should be that way. I think we have a mandate to change that. Everybody talks about how faith is failing. I see how faith is based in ego these days as opposed to actual spirituality. If you want to change that narrative, to turn it around, there are easy places to start. I mean, this is low-hanging fruit for building a new society. This isn't reaching or looking for a gimmick or any of that shit. It's there. It's real. Anyways, I normally don't do these just ad-lib, just freaking go out and shoot out a video, but it moved me, so I decided to do so. Thanks.